So, what's happening?
Looks like we have a little problem. I can't really rotate the engine.
You're saying when you rotate the engine, the tensioner starts compressing. The spring inside the tensioner is too weak now. Yes. Now that there's no oil pressure, right?
Yes.
Because it's fed with oil pressure when the engine's already running. When there is oil pressure, it won't be a problem, but during the cranking period, it will be, the chain can jump.
Like inch and a half thicker.
Well, it's supposed to be a little thicker, right?
Yeah,
yeah, but it's got the extra space in the back, no? I know somebody mounted this on the E63, so if they were able to do that, it should work on it too.
It should work. It just I remember there is like that much space from this flange.
Yeah, I know, but maybe this sits further back towards the engine, is what I'm saying.
Because the G-Wagon have more space in the front, right?
Well, yeah, obviously. Worst case, we have to trim some stuff, move some stuff, you know?
Well, if there is a chance, move radiators away a little bit lower in the car with the engine on the stop brake with the intercooler mounted already.
Yeah.
So I think in this case, we need to remove the radiators at all.
Yeah.
And just
then put the engine.
After the thing, gonna try to put the
the things we have to do to get horsepower. Listen, I'm sure there's gonna be something we're gonna have to tweak and adjust and cut some plastics and whatever, because it's significantly thicker than stock. You can kind of see, like, here, look. This is the factory intercooler with the throttle bodies mounted. This is the Wagner. So look how much thicker this thing is, right? You got mounts on the Wagner that are right here versus mounts on the stock one, which are here. So that means that the Wagner is going to stick out forward by, like, you know, at least this much, at least an inch. So we got to find that inch somewhere, and that's going to be fun. But we got to get it done. So
those ones are wider, right? So yeah. Let's say G-Wagon, right? I don't think they wide that much. So we can see, maybe we can fit under the G-Wagon radiators, which they more narrow. That way it will go a little bit forward.
Okay.
Like, because of this.
I just don't know how efficient the cooling is on the G versus this. I'm pretty sure this is way more efficient.
Maybe thicker a little bit, but narrow. They have to compensate it somehow, right?
Well, the good news is we have lots G-Wagon. We can compare if we need to.
Yeah.
Without ordering parts, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's okay, one step at a time. Anyways, yeah, so as you guys can see, we've pretty much assembled most of the engine at this point. The last, I guess, thing we stopped at was the tensioners. So I'm holding one of the old tensioners in the hand now. Basically, what was happening is, because of the extra stiff springs that we've installed in the head, when you were turning the engine on the stand with no oil pressure, the tensioner was collapsing to like pretty much all the way in, and it was causing a condition where the chain would almost lift off the sprocket and almost jump. So obviously that's no good. With oil pressure in the engine while it's running, this wouldn't really be a problem, because the tensioner would have oil pressure and it wouldn't, you know, be allowed to collapse that far in. But while you're cranking the engine, this would definitely be a problem. So we had to come up with some kind of solution to resolve it. So we ended up machining the groove right above the bleeder hole, which is right here, and installed a snap ring that will prevent the tensioner from collapsing when there is no oil pressure in the engine while it's cranking, right? So we rotated the engine multiple times. The chain is good. It still has a little bit of slack, which is what we want. we've continued on with the assembly. So at this point we are waiting for the exhaust manifolds to show up from Pack Parts, which have actually been there for months. So Arnold, hurry the up. And we're waiting for the intake manifolds, the billet aluminum intake manifolds, to come from Modelworks. Christian's been working hard on that, and you know, should be ready any day now. So just waiting on parts at this point, and that's really where it's at. See, we prepared the harness for the injectors, so we gotta run it. Once the manifolds come, measure everything, cut it, put the plugs on. The injector plugs, I mean the connectors. I
hope the length will be enough to get up there. It should be gonna use this one for. So I'm gonna cut it.
No, you're gonna use this side.
Yeah.
Right here, and then from this side you run it. You split them.
Yes.
Right.
But I wanna leave, because this is a pins for the haltic, right?
Yes.
I wanna leave that much. So we could.
But we already have the pins there in the haltic for the injectors. They're inside. There's a loom just in the engine bay.
Then it's fine.
Yeah. So.
Give me the
Anyway,
parts.
we wait for parts. Wait for more parts.
What?
So I'm just I'm pretending to unbox because I already opened it. We're just unboxing these billet manifolds from Modelworks for Slav's GT63 that he's been patiently waiting for. So let's check it out. That's cool. Did you film that?
Yeah, the whole thing's filming.
Very light. Hello.
Looks nice. All welded up, shouldn't have any leak. Port injection holes.
It's just.
What's wrong with it?
It doesn't. Something's heating. Yeah, I gotta bring the light.
The bolts looks like they're lining up.
I would make a little bigger holes because the hole is not perfectly centered.
Okay. Do you have the O-rings on it or no? Or just without
No,
O-rings?
just without. I want to see, like, I don't want any resistance. I want to see that it goes flush
Yeah.
without putting pressure
Yeah.
on those, so
Yeah.
it doesn't crack. Right. So just checking the fitment now. But so there's, let's say, I'm tightening the bottom ones. Yes, the bottom one flush. And see, it doesn't want to close. So it might close when I'm pushing it, but it shouldn't be like that. There's no O-rings, nothing.
Yeah, it shouldn't have
If
resistance.
something, there's a reason it doesn't want to go. It will tight this one, it might hit it, but
Let me see. No.
because the gap here be much bigger than this one.
I mean, I have a solution for that.
Yeah.
Put spacers on the back of it.
No, then we going
but
away.
by like a millimeter, right? It's not gonna do anything.
Sure. Well, that's yes. That's you can put a spacers.
No,
I mean,
maybe we're
yes.
tapping out
I
in there.
think something like that.
That's possible. But I mean, with the O-ring, it seals on the surface, right?
Yes,
it doesn't
but-
have to go all the way in.
But I think so. I can check that if I'll put some paste.
Yeah.
If it's touching all the way.
Because he might have made the runners a little bit too long.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
So either this here or this here.
Bottoming out.
Yes.
But again, the O-ring seals where? It seals around here, no?
On this.
Yes.
That's the stopper for the O-ring. That one.
Yeah, I got it.
So it pushes it in.
No, but then it's in past this point, is it not? Is it not in past this point right now?
should
I
be
think
because it has to go in
Yeah,
and keep the O-ring inside.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
so,
because these are pretty much, the mounts are pretty much flush with this
Yes.
point, right?
so we have. I
So
can
that
measure.
means, yeah, that means it goes in at least up to here. So I think it's just because you see how the radius starts tapering out
Yes, maybe.
over here. I think it's just a little bit too big.
Look here. See, mark?
Yes, exactly.
That's the mark.
That's what it is. Yes. Yeah. So just we'll have to put a like a thin washer on the back of it, on each one at the top and at the bottom. Then that way it's gonna sit flush.
Yes.
You know, before the radius.
Yeah, 1 millimeter, I guess.
Yeah,
on
it's
all
fine.
of them.
I don't think it'll be a
Should be
problem.
fine, yes. Yeah, but okay, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to see. So this one I shifted, by the way. It's not on the thread on the bottom because it's hitting this.
Oh, okay.
See? This
Yeah.
is the bracket.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine.
So we need to make fittings for the rails. We need to put the injectors in, which we're gonna do. I gave you the injectors, right, already?
Yes.
The two boxes.
Here,
Okay.
but
With
so
the connect-
that's another thing I want to see, because the way they made it, look where injectors watching.
Yes, you see.
How it's too much to the side.
So the only thing we're worried about now is overall fitment into the car. You see how the rail sticks out past the. See, past this. See how the rail
Past
sticks
Dima's
out
head?
past here.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it's gonna clear. I hope Christian measured this before he made it. I really hope so. So we'll find out. You know, he's usually good. He knows what he's doing. So let's continue with that assumption. That sticks out.
We're gonna need to cut from them, extend it, and make it wider to go.
No, I think
Wide
it
body.
has room, but I don't know if it's gonna be
No,
enough.
we can look in any other GT.
We can just measure. We measure the width, we measure the motor, and we see.
We can do that.
You know.
If it doesn't fit that engine, will fit E60.
I would say it will be like that much.
On each side? That's enough.
I'm saying over the longeron.
Over the longeron.
Make sure you get your ECC bed merch. You know, go online and come pick them up in store.
Quick little plug.
Yeah, I see what you were doing, so I figured I'd give it a plug.
So we have 82. The widest is less than 30. 29 and a quarter.
Okay, so then that means the intakes sit above that.
Ah, there's even more tight.
Even more tight?
Yes.
No, not possible.
It's 29 and a half. No, maximum 30. But need to bend the heat shield.
Okay.
30, and we have 32 and a quarter.
Sick. Okay. Yeah, so then there's no fucking way that that's gonna work. Yeah. It'll look pretty on the stand. That's about it. You know? Not gonna be in the car though.
We can make a picture for memories.
Yeah. But it looks nice. Oh fuck. More bullshit. And if we don't have them, we gain like right away at least 3 inches on the whole space. Yeah, which makes sense.
Well, the manifolds
Wow.
are good.
Manifolds,
Manifolds are good.
manifolds look great.
Yeah,
They are great, yes.
won't work with the rails.
No. Yeah, these need to be angled. The rail needs to sit like right here, tight with the manifold. It can't sit sticking out this much.
Remember the intercoolers?
Yeah, that can be another problem for sure. We're gonna solve one problem at a time, you know? Because that's what we do, we solve problems. Problems that are caused by parts that we're trying to put on. Non-original parts. Anyways, we'll wait to hear back from Christian. See what he says about the rails, if he wants to modify these manifolds, or maybe we'll just remove the rails and I'll weld the injector port shut for now so we can use it, get the motor in the car, you know, get it broken in, and if we're out of fuel at whatever power we're gonna try to make with no port injection, then we're gonna have to pull it back out again and get different manifolds. That's all we can do. Guys, as you know, we started this project in January. We're now basically end of May. and the engine is assembled, but you know, we're kind of stuck waiting on parts. I mentioned it in one of our previous video when we did the GLC, right? And I kind of did like a brief explanation on this. Basically, you know, manifolds took 3 or 4 months. I'd say 3, give or take. These turbo manifolds, they've been off the engine since before the new year, and you know, it's still not done. And hopefully, you know, the word I'm getting is they're supposed to be finished by the end of this month, but I don't know, I can't guarantee anything, and the guy that's doing it can't guarantee anything, and basically here we are. So yeah, it sucks, you know, when you have to wait on other people, and there's nothing else you can do really, short of going with maybe a hybrid setup for now or something like that for turbos. But that's not what we want. We want to make the power that we promised, and we need those manifolds for our full frame turbos. So hopefully they're done in the next few weeks. We'll finally get them at some point in June, and we can finish assembling everything, you know, break it in and drive it and make sure there's no leaks and everything's working properly before we can start pushing it. And then we're middle of summer, you know, heat, the car is not gonna be performing at its best when it's obviously 30 degrees Celsius out. So more realistic goal is probably to finish it and run it in the fall when the weather gets colder. But you know, for now, let's hope that parts come in, we can continue, button everything up, and give you guys some updates. So stay tuned.